else all this then? Witness, please state your names and occupations for the court. Constable Rolly Beat, sir. With the report straight, sir. He's gone. And I'm Miss Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say I'm this young town's hero's wife. What's up to his hat? What's the story here? Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day. No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honourable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? Sure I've heard that before, actually. Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know. They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check the meters are reading true, and they are responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our streetlights. There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all. Wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd have collapsed long ago. It goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honour. Bobby. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat? That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly? He's properly chewing it. Hospital Rolly Beat, sir. Nothing to report on the street, sir. What a great witness he's going to be. Very good. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident. Yes, sir. He's gone. Witness testimony. What the witnesses saw. It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. I want to know what the something is. Is it books? That won't tell me. Or maybe it's salt, because I was thinking, why is there no snow at this location, but there is around it? And like the only thing I think of there is salt. So it's like, we'll see. We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a nearby police box. Oh, a TARDIS. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rhoda and I both saw him clear as day. So far I can think of like 2 places I want to press here. Like for that stuff that was scattered. And if they definitely saw him. Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say. Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsumi at the scene. Yes, that's what I want to question. If the testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed. It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate chancing. And on your wedding anniversary too. Oh, I know. But I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon. What do you mean by that? My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without a doubt the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less. So you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense, commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. Okay, cross-examination. We got like two things here I want to see. What the witnesses saw. So our wedding anniversary and Rory was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Fine. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. Fine. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, then the other scattered something before running off. I want to know what the something is. Scattered something. What do you mean by that? Oh, well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling? Huh? What? Ah, yes, that's right. It was some old books. Oh, okay. I see, old books. It's just got to question that, because it's like that was the tingling thing in my head. I was like, alright. Because they could have been salt. Yes, sir, the culprit had dropped a number of them around when the victim lay on the pavement. Indeed. As clearly pictured in this photographic print. The rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed. Hold it! Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker. But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question. Sir. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, taut mouth, the snub nose. Everything. Alright. Any more insults you want to throw in? That's right, he looked down at the poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away. Right, I see. Why would he throw the books? This is tough. It seems as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please continue. Yes, sir. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. Suppose we could ask the question of, like, where's the police box on this map? Maybe. Because it's like we didn't see one up Brow Road at all, did we? And that could lead us towards... Because if they... that's the thing, it's like if they ran to a nearby police box, that may put their position in a different location. Maybe. Like for instance, if the police box was, say, here, and they ran to nearby, it's like it could be there, where they were, and that could be the old man. Rather than over here, where there's no police box around, or something like that. It's like, that could be something, so it's worth it. Was it your husband who went to fetch help? No. I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one, after all. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point. But a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I was obliged to stay and guard the scene. Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of a crime is a task of considerable importance. That's why I sent Patricia, you see. Told her where to find the right police box. Which was where? Forgive my ignorance. What do you mean exactly by the right police box? Depends on the crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So told Patricia the way to the police box. But the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. But tell us where, man. Where did you tell her to go? I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There's nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know. And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of 2 model citizens. Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling? Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir. He's gone. Let's move on, shall we? Oh. I wanted the information of where it was. Because that would have been significant. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him clear as day. Well, let's press on this. Hold it! But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you? We absolutely could, as Londoners have exceptional eyesight. I'll have you know. Right. The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he? Yes, and what of the fog? We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. But it's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course. Oh, it is, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm. It's so dense. Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about? The constant fog makes our eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain if it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? I don't know if he can keep his eyes open. Yes. Excuse, no mistake. The mustache, the hunchback, the cat-like eyes, the taunt mouth, the snub nose. Unmistakable, sir. As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any questions. It was Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony. Well, what do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsumi running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. So if that's true, where does it leave us? The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no. Then what do we do? If Kazuma-sama were here... What are you trying to say? I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony. What do you mean, somewhere else? The statement about seeing Mr. Natsumi is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you can identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them. To make the jury doubt if that Pierre's memory of the day is accurate. Alright. But simply, I must focus on finding a discrepancy in the statement somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion. Why do I seem to be so up against it? It was our wedding anniversary and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Miss Beat? Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply. Well, I think you probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you? I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling? There's it. What? I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy. Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct? That's right, sir. Yes. Although I was fit to drop, To be honest, spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end. What's that now? My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause, I cover 20 miles every single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all that is needed here to feel safe and secure. So, fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then. But sir, just on one particular day I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold. If a little over the top, perhaps. And then, kindly describe what happened next. Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something? What? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... Seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right, is it? Well, out with it. What? No, it's really not that at all. My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything, like... Oh, I know. What about the books the men dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one. I could. Every single one. Oh, please do. Because then if they match it with this, perfect. Or not perfect. Well, it depends. Do they match up or not, basically? Right, go. Do it. Don't you dare to question how reliable my testimony is? That will do, Miss B. No, it won't do at all. The Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will. I really didn't mean to cause offense, but please put your husband's fist down. Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat. Might that, appease you? Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely. Wouldn't it, darling? What day is it? Okay. I could even tell you the names of the four. Is there one we can't see? But also 3 on that day in question, so it's like, hold on a minute. Hold it! Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Those purchased by the accused at the nearby second-hand bookshop on the day in question. After I had been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for good measure. I'm a proud policewoman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly. And what was your husband doing at the time? Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling? Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Miss Beat, seeing as you have regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you observed at the scene? I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? Yes. There was the picture of Monsieur somebody or other, and what's it, yearnings? Right, where we go. Yeah. Canterbury yearnings. Okay, so a meal for... Then there was a meal for someone, and the last one was definitely the Thingamy's something. It's that one we're after, isn't it? You see? Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory. Oh, well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure. And they were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it. Well, what did I tell you? Like, it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling? Anyone who says my petition will have to answer... There he's gone. Terrifying. Yes, she really is. Alright, so we need to press on that. Not press on that, present something, don't we? So that's it, is it? That's her entire testimony. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beats saw what they say they saw. Yeah, but Mr. Natsumi running away from the scene on Briar Road that day. Yes, I feel the same. No, there's still something. So if that's true, where does it leave us? Members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony. Oh no. Then what do we do? Kazuma-sama were here. What are you trying to say? I think you would try to find it. Alright, yeah, we know this bit. We know this. Come on. So I want to get down to the end again. Right, so let's present the second-hand book receipt.
Objection!
Where's the other book come from? So, you're saying that there were 4 books? That's right. I remember all of them. The picture of Monsieur Somebody, What's It Yearnings, A Meal for Someone, and the Thingagummy Something. I'm sorry, Miss Beat. But there is a fundamental flaw in that statement of yours. Oh no. What flaw? Simply that, at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books. Your books? My book? No, his book. Your books. Yes, and in details Mr. Natsumi's purchases that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. Yes. Only 3, but... No, that can't be. There can, and there is. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books. Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print at the scene of the crime. Could be behind her, though. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books. But I just don't believe it. I saw them there, I swear it, I saw them! No, madam, I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. Something like that. So it cannot be denied. But though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh no. Oh no. No! Oh god.
Objection!
Overruled. What? It's plainly evident that it is your powers of deduction that cannot be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well and you have no hope of disproving. So, you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancies. Would that be fair? Oh, he seems he's right through me. Well, I won't say that. I wasn't trying to distract. I was trying to just get to the bottom of things. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. Don't smash it. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Oh. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene on Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found.
Objection!
But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right. Only 3 can be seen in that print. Well, we're gonna have an updated that picture then. A print? You mean to say? God damn it. Allow me to present another. One that shows the victim's hand. That's what we got, The Lion's Pride. Here we are, starting to connect now, isn't it? I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. No, I mean, I figured that out immediately. Like, come on. Oda. There, you see? Look at that. Look. Yes. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir, Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beat, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it, yearnings? Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Gabriel, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book titles flawlessly. I won't say flawlessly. Save for a few minor details. Quite big details. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Rowley? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless. But there are only 3 books on the receipt. Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly the 4th book is that which is shown in this photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why should the 4th book be omitted from the receipt? It didn't belong to him. It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? Impossible! I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Yes. Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigating officers at Scotland Yard. I have it here as evidence. We'll submit that and have the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please, counsel. My pleasure, my lord. The second crime scene photograph has been entered into the court record. The 4th book has been entered into the court record. The prosecution rests. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance is futile. Until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes. But futile. He actually did say your resistance is futile in his own way. The spurious long route to the accursed lodgings, and the accused lodgings at that you try to establish in your summation examination, and the attempted discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection in your cross-examination. Futile? I walked right into this, didn't I? You see, everything we've said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? I still think there's 2 scenes around about here. Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. You're already married. So, perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. But before we jump into that, I want to check something out here. Obviously, we got the Lion's Pride. There's not much else to go on in that, is there? But the actual book itself, I suppose. Now we know where it came from. Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt. Alright. You'd never be able to read it in this state, especially not the latter pages. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think the damage must have occurred very recently. A book. Recently damaged by fire. Why does that seem to raise a red flag with me? The fourth book's information has been updated in the court record. So is it their daughter, essentially, is what I'm thinking. Could be the name? Let me see. It's a book entitled The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all. So it wouldn't be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride? That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before. Very recently, too. It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, isn't it just... interesting. Should the court waste any more time on this Nipponese travesty? Or is the decision you have to make all too apparent already? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all of the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid we are in a terrible, precarious position. I know, but if I back in the wrong way now, I could very well just make matters worse. Think, Ryu, think. What do you do now? Well, what we do now is end this part here. In the next part, raise an objection. And we're going to pursue the logic that the book is burnt. So see you in the next part. Ta-ra for now.